chances are if you've been following this channel for a while, you probably already know this, but to everybody else who is unaware, I'm just gonna come out and say it, I'm a bit of a weeb. Okay, it's great that you're confronting your issues, but what does that have to do with a video about the Vibraslap? Well, despite knowing about this instrument and its African and Latin American origins for quite a while, I was reminded of its existence recently when I noticed it being used in some Japanese indie rock and even a couple of metal tracks over the last few months, which piqued my interest and led me to picking up one for myself to try out. Of course, it also has been used in a lot of popular songs in the West over the decades, like Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith, All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix, and Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train, just to name a few. So what is the Vibraslap? Well, it's a percussion instrument and the modern version of a jawbone, which is literally a dry jawbone of a mule, donkey, cattle, horse, you name it, that's played by striking the jaw with a stick or your hand, which will then rattle the teeth, and it sounds a little something like this. Really don't know why I pointed, there's nothing to look at, it's sound. And the Vibraslap works in a very similar way. The hollow wooden box here has little metal pins on the inside that replicate the sound that you would get from the rattling teeth of a jawbone, but instead of hitting the box with your hand or a stick, you hold it by the U-bend and you strike the ball. And that's literally it. Doesn't do much more than that. No matter how you hit it, be it with your palm, your fist, your head, your elbow, it's going to make the same sound. Kinda hurt actually. Ow. So needless to say, when this instrument does turn up in songs, it's usually used quite sparingly, as it would get annoying very, very quickly if you were to just wail on this thing for a whole track. Yeah, that was very annoying. It's definitely a unique sound, but there's not a whole lot else that we can actually do with this instrument. So I guess that's going to be it for another edition of Oh no. Instead of wrapping up this video here, I'm going to do what I always do, and that's see if I can manipulate the sounds of this instrument to make some weird and hopefully useful ambient sounds with it. And this is where the video will either get far more interesting or completely crash and burn, as I have no idea as to whether or not this will actually work. But let's find that out together. Okay, it doesn't work as well when you have a microphone strapped to it, so let's try something else. Hadn't actually planned for that not working, so I'm not actually sure what to do. Find a new microphone setup, then use this said microphone to hang a cheaper microphone from the stand, because that's just how we work here. We bodge job everything. Where do I pop it inside? I feel like that's going to be worse, but you never know. Take it back, that worked perfectly. Also, I don't think this microphone is the ideal one to use because it does pick up the sound of you hitting the ball as well, whereas I really just want the sound of the rattle. Honestly, this condenser microphone that I have right here is probably the better one to use, but I can't run my effects pedals through it. I can only run them through this microphone, so this will have to do for now. I'll use this one in a later video when it's more suitable. So that's the vanilla sound. Let's see if we can add some reverb. Definitely sounds a lot more scary, and it's probably going to sound even more scary when we add some delay. Just a tad. Also, another reason why this instrument is probably used quite sparingly is because it kind of hurts your hand after a while. Let's try adding some drive into here. Let's get some more treble going on. Ooh. What an impactful sound that is. We could definitely make this weirder though. Poor thing. And just like that, I'm definitely out of ideas. I don't think there's anything else I can do with the Vibraslap. This might be a very short video. So if you've been looking for an instrument that makes an iconic rattling sound, look no further than the Vibraslap. I realise that's not a very good selling point, but That's all I've got. And with that, I think that's going to be it for another edition of Looted. Shout out to Keegan McAdams, Natasha Savage, Peekafoo, Luna, George Acock, Luke Reason, Chance McTire on Patreon. Thank you very much for your support. And if you like this video, hit like. If you like all our videos, hit subscribe. We've got more videos on the way. If you want to support the channel further, check out the link in the description to our Patreon page. You can also join us on our Discord server. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.